So in my last video, I was talking about some upgrades I'm going to do to Lincoln. Most of the stuff I've done has been OEM upgrades style, like the alternator. Well, it didn't come on this car. It was a Ford alternator. It came on Fords. This is going to be the first product that I put on here that is not OEM or originally manufactured parts. I mean, I got the Crown Vic parts on there, sway bars, and I got the front and rear sway bars. I got the cop intake, all that stuff. And the problem I'm having is with those stiffer sway bars, you can almost feel a kind of give in the rear end. And it's weird. It's kind of like you feel the sway bar kick in and hold it, but you can kind of feel the back of the car kind of wiggle a little bit. So I'm going to upgrade the suspension. I already put the bigger aftermarket brakes. That wouldn't be OEM, but here's the next thing. These are Watts Links. Sad thing about this is these are such nicely machined, and they're such good looking parts. It's a sad thing that they're going to go under the car where no one can see them. These ones are designed for the air rights. Come with equipment right here. This is the company that makes them. I have the instructions, and when I'm under the car, after I jack the car up, I'll show you why I'm starting here instead of the control arms, because I'm trying to keep the axles centered. And I'm just trying to make this car a better cruiser. I just want it to run down the road and react the way I like. I kind of come from a sports car background. I drove race cars when I was in high school. My semi truck doesn't have the feel like this, where it just kind of feels, has some give. So I'm gonna put these in. We're gonna go for a road trip this weekend. Let's figure it all out, and then I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna build this into the cruiser car. It's a road trip car. I might not put on all the high performance stuff, but I'm gonna do stuff to this car to make it have better drivability while we're cruising. So let's get started on the project. Okay, so when I was replacing my airbags, I noticed that this was the biggest problem. In here, in this bar, I don't know if it shows it on the camera, there's a lot of twist in that. And that's the Watts linkage right there. So that's what I'm taking apart. That's the whole stock layout is right here. It's just a lot of flex. And there's a lot of flex in this too. And this too here. And the more flex you have, the worse it basically handles. So I'm trying to get rid of that. So let me get this all taken apart. Okay. After about 45 minutes of that thing kicking my ass, I finally got it all taken apart. And let me show you what we got here before I put it all back together. So these are the new ones. Definitely see how thick they are compared to the old ones. The bushings here are definitely bigger, more solid. So basically what looks like it's going to do is take out a lot of the play that's in those bushings. But let me show you a trick I had to do, because those bolts are heavy as all hell. I mean, they're on there. There's like 200 foot-pounds of torque. And I had to drop the driveline to be able to get enough leverage. So I dropped the driveline. It's all taken apart. That big bolt goes right there and there. Now the reason I took that bolt out is because these bars here are so much stronger. I have to go with this new bolt here. This is the old one. Definitely way better machining. But I took this bolt out, this one here, and this one's going to go in because the new bolt's 50% stronger. And wow, that thing, it fought. That was that's a hell of a bolt there. Holy crap. So all right, I have to now transfer this bracket here from this to this. And I think it says in the directions to count the marks on there, and the marks on this will right here will line up for the air suspension. So and what this does is this slides back and forth on here, and that's how you adjust the ride height. I'm not going for a low rider, I'm just going for stiffer suspension. So I'm going to count all those marks and see if I can't line it all back up. So I'm going to get after that. I'm going to get it all set up, and then I'll show you what's going on from there. Okay, so I'm at this point now. I just read directions. This bolt has to come out. This is how I'm going to do it right here. Put the vise in there and put the bolt between the two like that, and then the vise will spread it. There's these 3 little welds on the back. Just smacks that hammer down and it breaks off, and that's exactly what I said to do in the directions. So okay, next part. Okay, so I've encountered something that I think might be a neat trick for anyone else who's installing this part. I'll show you right here. Okay, so to get that back bolt right there, the bolt right here, I have to leave this part right here off and lift it up because it still will move, and then reach into the back with a wrench like that to get to that bolt. And as soon as that bolt is tight, then I'll torque down that last bolt. So far I found that's about the only way I'm going to be able to get it, because there's a parking brake line right here that goes in the way, and with it there you can't get that socket on. So just a little tip I found. Okay, so I got the last 3 bolts on, and you definitely want to torque those down last. And that 24 millimeter on the top, this one right here, that one goes on last because it allows you to pick this up to the very top, so you can get a wrench in on this arm and that arm, and then you do this one last. And the only torque spec that they didn't have, that kind of, because I'm kind of particular, is so these specs here on these is 70 foot-pounds, and this one on these both sides is 70 foot-pounds on both sides. They didn't have this one, so I had to look this up, and it says in the torque specs I found that this is 68, but you can yeah, I just torqued that to 68, these last 2 to 68. So that was the only part I couldn't find, was these specs for these. So now all I have to do is put the driveline back in. I found it was definitely easier to have the driveline out and definitely take that tire off so I can get in and out on my back. And then this one up here, 187 pounds. And then this big one down here is like 200 foot-pounds of torque. So it's going to be a hell of a lot of pulling. So now I just got to lube this all up. We'll put the driveline in and we'll go for a test drive. Okay, it's been a couple days since I got the car all done. I got the car done Friday night, and I took the car out Saturday and went about 200 miles for a trip. And now here's the car. It's all done, ready to be drivable. The hardest part really wasn't getting all the other stuff in, other than physically hard. It was getting the air ride set back to, because I wanted to keep a factory height, and that seemed to take a little bit of time to figure out. But other than that, it definitely makes the car feel lighter, I would say. As far as it responds a lot faster. I definitely cannot wait to get the upper and lower control arms done. See what that would do. And I think I definitely want to get a little bit bigger sway bar in the rear. But that will come after the lower control upper and lower control arms. So would I do it again? Definitely worth the money and the time. Makes the car way different well, not way different, but makes it feel lighter, more responsive. And actually, I think just having the Watts links improved makes the ride better, as in smoother. It kind of makes the air, it feels like the air suspension's working a little bit better. And it's transferring more of the ride into the airbags instead of into the body or the suspension. But that's just the way I felt about it. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to do some more videos like this. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it.